All right, here we are, 2 o'clock again. Bet you guys, some of you guys probably realize that wear glasses. They look filthy. Had to give the eyeballs a little bit. I like to give my eyeballs a break from the contacts from time to time, even though I take them out frequently. I like to just I feel like I'm letting them breathe. Let the eyeballs breathe. Pure Michigan type day. So what does that mean? If you live from Michigan, if you live in Michigan, you're going to understand exactly what that means. Because yesterday was like summertime. Today is like winter again. Granted, it's still winter. We're still in February. March is just a day or two away, but it's still winter, and it's showing its ugly face right now. Although, looking at the future forecast, spring and early summer type weather is on the return. I'm gonna try to bump this up a little bit. Winter's back for a little bit. Super windy. I was super busy at work last night. A tornado had touched down, or reportedly touched down in Grand Blanc last night, and I work around the Oakland County area. So for you guys that don't know, I work on power lines. So I work for the power company down here. And what's up? Glad you could pop in, dude. Everything's good, man. Everything's good. I got on the water yesterday. Today, it feels like it would be an ice fishing kind of day. But hopefully, with the wind we're getting right now, it's going to keep these lakes from skimming over with ice. And because they're all white capping right now, so I can't imagine them freezing with this type of rain. But regardless, they'll be opening back up real soon. Yeah, DTE. So that's who I work for. I'm a journeyman lineman. I've been doing it. I'm going to be 37 in April. Right? Yeah, I'm gonna be 37 in April, and I've been doing this since I've been 19. Now, I started as a subcontractor, traveling all over Michigan, the UP, all over the U.S., chasing hurricanes, chasing ice storms, all that stuff. And then I became a family man, got married, we had a daughter, and had the opportunity to settle down, so I work with the power company now. But we were busy last night with that wind. And if you guys don't follow me on Instagram or Facebook, if you don't have those platforms, you should. If you do have those, you should follow me on there, because I put a lot of, in my stories, I put a lot of behind the scenes, like inside my life type of stuff, work life, personal life, that type of stuff. Stuff I can't share on here because I don't have quite the following to unlock the stories for YouTube. So I try to share that type of stuff over there. I post pictures and stuff like that on those platforms, but that's about it. You guys are my main community that I like associating with. So yeah, check out this. You guys might not have seen this. Pretty cool sweatshirt. These dudes out of Michigan made a clothing line. They no longer do it. But they had made this for me personally because it's 2022 Michigan Angler of the Year. It says on the sleeve. They voted me. I was voted as 2022 Michigan Angler of the Year, which was pretty cool thing. I mean, it was a page that was displaying Michigan outdoorsmen and fishermen for the most part. And since I'm well-rounded, I'm not just a bass guy, I'm not just a walleye guy, I'm not just a muskie guy, I do it all. I think that helped my cause for winning that, I don't know. But I do enjoy everything Michigan has to offer. Afternoon, bud, I'll check it out after I get out of the pickup line. Hey, that's where I'm at. I'm in the pickup line, if you mean school pickup line. So yeah, speaking of which, I gotta move a couple things around here because Princess will be out of school soon. So yeah, I expect a extremely, man, my glasses seem crooked. I expect a extremely busy tonight. Can't even talk. I worked 16 hours last night, so I'm pretty wiped out. But I'm expecting a busy night tonight at work. The wind has been howling all day. So when I get in, I'll be able to check the outages and see what we're up against, and probably work through the night again. Tomorrow's Thursday. Tonight I'm uploading a new video. It is not fishing. It is fishing related, kayak fishing related. And I made this video because I got a lot of feedback from a previous video I had did about kayak fishing, kayaks, different prices. So I put this one together. I have to add a few things to the description of the video, and then I'm going to go ahead and upload it sometime tonight. It's informative for people that are looking into getting into kayak fishing, or looking to get a kayak for maybe a family member, something like that. So yeah, it's gonna be, I feel like I did a pretty good job on it. It was a lot of work, it was a lot of research, but I'm happy with the final product. One thing I learned about doing YouTube is not accepting perfection is okay. I accept what I like to call good enough. I try to do a really good job, whether it's an entertaining video on the water, on the ice, out in the woods. I try to do a good job as far as keeping the entertainment value there for people to watch it. But at the same time, I'm a perfectionist, but I'm not a professional when it comes to filming, editing, all that. I learn new stuff every time I do it. So I've settled for the fact that being happy with good enough to upload is where I'm at. Looking trigger. Never had any luck in March here in Michigan Inland Lakes, but gonna give it a shot Saturday with a jerkbait and a Ned. Yeah, jerkbait I had success with yesterday, specifically the Bill Lewis scope stick in a green gizzard shad color. I wrecked them. I mean, I owned the lake yesterday. It was pretty freaking awesome, man. Now granted, jerkbait is the bait to be throwing this time of year, but I had found the fish in 12 to 15 foot of water. So I think that was key to getting as many bites as I did yesterday. I had fun out there, man. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I love, so here's the thing. A lot of people on the internet just get off over walleye fishing, stuff like that, walleye fishing content. But the thing is, I love catching walleye. I love eating walleye. I also love catching and releasing walleye, but they're not a lot of fun to catch. Like, it's like pulling up a wet sock. So, I mean, yeah, you get a couple of head shakes, but outside of the aspect that it's a great table fare, walleye, to me, creating walleye fishing content, I enjoy it because it's popular. People like to watch it. But as far as for me, what I like doing is I really like bass. I really like pike. Like smallmouth is probably my favorite species to target because pound for pound, they're one of the most aggressive freshwater fish. I think if rock bass got to be as big as smallmouth, they would take that away from the smallmouth. But it's easy to go drag a jig in the river and catch walleye, right? I mean, it's not easy, but there's limited entertainment value there. There's limited thought process. There's limited selection of lures. Or even if you're trolling, you're just throwing baits out, you're trolling. And I grew up trolling. Don't get me wrong. I grew up dragging crawler harnesses, cranks, all that. And I enjoy doing things like that, but that's not what I like to go out and do on a day-to-day basis. You can only get so much of it. Now, when you go fish for bass, you have a huge selection of lures. You have multiple different ways to catch them, different times of the day and year. They're different. They're in different areas of the body of water. So it's more, you really have to figure them out. And they fight. They fight good. They jump out of the water. Yeah. So again, nothing against the walleye guys. I'm a walleye guy. I'm more or less a bass guy though, because it's just so much more fun. Okay, Medlands. Yeah, be safe out there. I'm in the insurance game, so I rebuild people's homes after the fact. All right. Well, that's a dangerous job, dude. Speaking of insurance, I got my freaking statement from a mortgage company today, and my insurance went up. Taxes went up a little bit. Insurance went up quite a bit. So I may have to start shopping around for new homeowners, because that was a kick in the gonads. Chris O'Connor, hit the like button. Appreciate you, buddy. I hope all is well. Oh, Lucas, I need to ask you about a kayak, what to take with me to the DMV to register my Old Town. I've never done this before. I hate to get up there. So there should be a serial number on the Old Town. If you don't have the owner's manual, write it down, take it with you. And just have the basic information. If you don't have the owner's manual that, kind of talks about the length, the weight, or get all that information and give that to them, because the serial number, they're going to basically call it the haul ID. And it's simple. It's like, I want to say it was like 15 or 30 bucks or something for 3 years for the kayak. Super simple. Just take what you think you would need, as far as, having the length of the boat, the weight, what type of motor you're putting on it. Just tell them, like, if you got an autopilot, obviously it's electric, but just, tell them you're putting an electric motor on it. They're going to ask those questions. But if you have the serial number, that helps big time, because they will be slightly confused, because it is kind of a newer thing where kayaks are getting registered. But it's becoming more and more popular. I mean, I've registered 3 of them now. But every time I've gone to the DMV over here in Clarkston, they still look at me with a sideways look, like I'm trying to do something illegal. But that'll help expedite that process. Speaking of which, I'm going to get back on the water. Before I went live here, I was actually going to check the rest of the forecast. I know Sunday and Monday look to be freaking phenomenal. I may get out Friday. I want to get on Lake Orion. Lake Orion is one of the best big bass lakes close to me. Also holds really big pike. The lake I was on the other day, smaller lake, not a lot of giant bass. I mean, there's giant bass in every lake, but the numbers of giant bass aren't as great as like a lake like Lake Orion here. I have the owner's manual. Well, there you go. It should have all the information you need within that owner's manual. And if it doesn't have the weight and length of the boat, just go online, look that up, Google it, and then have that information written down for them. But what they're really going to want to know is, number 1, what type of motor, number 2, the type of boat, which is, obviously plastic, and then number 3, the serial number or haul ID. But yeah, new upload tonight. And again, I grew up, man. I've owned. So before you guys knew me as on YouTube or social media, like I was having this conversation with Brian, the Michigan fisherman, the other day, because he was talking about he wants to get a boat, or eventually he'll get one because to take the kids out. And I've got nothing against that at all. I've been down that road. I've been down that road too many times. So in my lifetime, I think I've owned 7 boats, right? One of which was a brand new boat. And although it is nice to have, it's not a must. Heading out Perch and Sunday. If you get out, be safe. Yeah, you too, buddy. Good luck. Having a boat isn't a must, especially if you're bass fishing. Like, even if you go walleye fishing, like, a boat isn't a must. And I've proven that. And, if you have to be surrounded by people to go fishing, no, you don't need proof of insurance. Nope. If you need to have yourself surrounded by people, then okay, I get it. Or you need to have somebody with you. But I've always been kind of a one-man wolf pack, one-man wrecking crew, I like to refer to it as, because I don't need anybody. I've done a lot of this on my own. As far as my father taught me how to, go fishing. He introduced me to it, but then my buddies and I grew up through high school and everything, and we're up fishing, whatever. But as I became an adult, I've bought boats. I've trolled for salmon in Lake Michigan. I used to run 15 rod spreads. I've run all, all the gear, 4 dipsies, 2 downriggers, 4, coppers, whatever. I've done all that. And for me, if I want to do those things, I would just rather go pay a charter boat, right? I'd just rather go get on with a charter boat and go do that, because it's hard for me to, number one, try to justify the cost of being able to go over there, maybe 2-3 times a year to Lake Michigan. So got out of that, got into walleye fishing because I grew up and I was living around the Saginaw Bay, and dragging crawler harnesses all over the place, cranks, jigging them, this, that, and it's fun. But I kind of grew out of that phase of my life. And then, in the last few years, I've bought boats, sold boats, bought boats, sold boats. Mainly, the main reason I really like a boat is for when it's really cold and I don't want to risk life or death in the kayak. That's the only time I've used a boat the last 4 years. I had a brand new boat and I only used it in the spring when it was really cold. So it's like, to me, I don't have anything against people that own boats. I mean, I'll probably one day own a boat again, right? But right now, with my work life, my family life, and everything else, this is just what works best. And I can target the species I want to target without an issue, and I can catch just as many as the guys that are using boats. And I can rig it out. So like I have live scope, I have all that stuff, and I'm able to get into these things a lot less, a lot more cost effective, I guess you could say. And people see me live scoping on a kayak and they're like, it's like they're blown away by it. It's like, well, just because you have it on your boat doesn't mean I can't have it on my kayak. Or the thing about that is I can take it off my kayak and take it with me on the ice. Love my kayak fishing and plan to do more tourneys this year, but nothing beats a John boat with family for me. So yeah, and I can appreciate that 100%. It's just for me, like my family consists of my wife and daughter. I have older brothers that, we don't live around each other. Ever come to Canada and fish Lake St. Clair? I've crossed over, so I a lot of times I fish, the border of Lake Michigan and Canada. I do carry a Canadian fishing license, so I do jump over there, and especially walleye fish. I actually walleye fish Canada more than I do the United States, but as far as smallmouth, I've got some pretty good spots in Michigan, and for smallmouth, the Michigan side is usually cleaner. And unfortunately for you guys, but in Michigan, we can catch and release all year, where I know in Canada you can't, for bass. In Canada, you can't actually start targeting them until the first Saturday in June or something like that. So yeah, I mainly mile roads mostly. Yeah, our season here is ass. Mile roads, yeah, really anywhere, man, so it's seasonal, right? So from springtime up into spawn, you're going to want to fish anywhere from Detroit River all the way up to Metro, and because they'll spawn all throughout them areas. Pre-spawn, they're going to be moving in shallow. They're going to be moving into structures, like seawalls, that type of stuff. And then as it gets into the warmer months, you'll still catch them in those areas. They'll be out deeper, but they'll also move shallower up by like Anchor Bay and stuff like that. So it's kind of a seasonal trend. As the year goes on, they keep pushing further north. But there's studies that say Anchor Bay fish never leave Anchor Bay. Mile road fish never leave Mile Road. So maybe my theory's kind of wrong. Don't know. Got a Lowrance active target. What size battery do you use for that? So I have I think it's a 23 amp hour battery that will get me a full day on the water. And that's running my screen, my live scope, black box for my Garmin. Neon Ramen farted. All right, we got to get rid of this dude. Report, remove. Let's put him in timeout. We're gonna put him in timeout. There. How you like me now? Bunch of clowns, right? Oh, you gotta love it. Active target. So yeah, I mean, you don't need a huge battery. You can get a full day on. you know, 20, 30, 40, 50 amp hour. You just have to charge it again, you know, when you're done. I run 100 amp hour for my autopilot. I worked on the boat yesterday. It's freezing cold today. Must be the end of February, Michigan. That's it, buddy. What's up, you? Yup, free samples. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Thanks for stopping. My buddy, Yoop. Yoop, it must be like sub-zero up there because it's 26 degrees down here and it's bitter-ass cold, man. I mean, I'm still wearing shorts because, you know, I'm not outside much when I'm at home, but when I go to work, I'm throwing long johns on tonight. Free samples. Hey, how you doing? Lori, yes, that guy was a clown. Detroit, Michigan, yes, that dude was a clown. What's happening, OC? Any suggestions on where to start Lake St. Clair, some kayaks? Me and my buddy want to get out there. Okay, so I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to share the juice with you. Go to Blossom Heath. 10 with wind chill below zero. Youper, you guys, I feel so bad for you. God, that's brutal. Stoke the fire tonight, buddy. Alex, so I'm gonna tell you right now. Go to Blossom Heath, launch out of there, because you can get in there before the end of March. The end of March, they start checking people for passes. So Blossom Heath is going to put you right at 9 Mile and fish those areas. Fish up tight, fish the seawalls, fish a riprap, fish all through there. That's going to be a killer spot right now, all the way through pre-spawn. But that's a little sneaky trick you can do because it is a private launch. But it is, I've done it. You can go there, nobody will be in the guard shack, dump your kayaks in the canal there, boom, get out to the main lake. Either go right or left, don't matter. All them areas are good. 10 minutes, yeah. Welcome to Uzbekistan. Well, hello, welcome. This is the United States. What do we got? Oh, they got the flag down. I was going to show you guys the wind. Got any good largemouth lakes in Michigan that aren't too far from Detroit? I want to do a trip over Michigan, target largemouth for the first time. My best, I mean, all of them. I live by Lake Orion, so Lake Orion's a good one. Squaw Lake's a good one. Cass Lake's a good one. White Lake's a good one. Orchard Lake. Cedar Island. I mean, these are all good lakes. Some of them are a little tough to get into with a boat. They do have ramps, not always a dock in. Wolverine Lake's another good one. Can I tell you a knock-knock joke? Well, I guess. You got 1 minute. It's just of living in the UP. Yeah, well, again, stoke the fire. Throw an extra log on that bad boy for me. So this is actually the most people I've had in here at once, which is pretty cool. My truck's doing this right now. It's so windy, the truck's doing this. Thanks, buddy. This is why I watch and listen to you. Yeah, you're welcome, dude. I just can't figure out Orchard or Cass. They're like overwhelming, and I do terribly. Well, Orchard, when it's really cold, springtime, fish the flats on the backside of the island. Cass, same thing, the flats. When they start spawning, you can't miss them. They'll be there. And then as the spawn ends, they'll move up on the flats early morning, and then they hit the drop-offs in the afternoon. I caught and lost my personal best smallmouth on Orchard Lake. And I fish Lake St. Clair religiously, so I told you there's big smallies in there. Oh, that blew over. Dude, I'm gonna be busy at work tonight. There's gonna be power lines down everywhere. I don't know if I can dress warm enough. It just seems like this wind is gonna cut through every layer I got. Youper's probably laughing because he's used to it. He's probably out in shorts and a t-shirt right now. All right, I got to get off here. Kids are getting out of school. Thank you guys for tuning in. How do you spell Squaw Lake? It's S-Q-U-A-W, but it's also called Paint Lake. It's right off Drainer. That would be just west of Oxford. I swore Loon Lake many years ago. All right, I got to go. Talk to you guys tomorrow right around 2 o'clock.